My name's Rose. My name's Harley. And I'm sort of related to Dr. Charles Allen. And our title is Setting the Woods on Fire. Be sure to check out our websites below for books, classes, and plants. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye!
The burning of woods has been going on for a very long time. Originally, lightning would set a fire and that fire would burn, and you have to imagine in the past, without roads, without cities, once a fire got started, it would burn for many acres before going out. But today we have roads and we have cities and people's houses and things stop. So it's been going on. Then Native Americans started burning the woods, mainly to green things up so that they could have animals to hunt and so forth. And then the early settlers, including my parents and grandparents from that, they also burned the woods because they had cows, and the cows would go out and they're running in the woods, and those cows would have green. If it was burned, they would have green stuff to eat. So it's been going on. And today, a lot of the burning that goes on is done by paper companies or other companies, or even national forests or even army lands, just for a different reason. So we go through the reasons that people burned. Of course, the main reason was to green things up so they would be able to feed the cows or the wild animals. So today they do it to prepare a place to plant seeds or plant pine trees, and also to control hardwoods. Now, when you think about a fire going through the woods, the fire kills some plants, but what you have to think about is that herbaceous plants are underground, and then the fire sweeps them off. In fact, if I could take a picture around me, we just had a fire here, and you can already see the herbaceous plants coming back up. So it doesn't hurt most of the herbaceous plants. It may kill some, but most of those are perennial, and they're underground and they come back up. So especially in the longleaf pine areas and other pine areas where there's a lot of grass, a lot of things come up. Now, if it's an annual, but there aren't many annuals out here, but if it's an annual, then the seeds may survive and actually may come up better with the burning. So people today try to control the small hardwoods. The only plants that it really kills are the plants that have their stems above ground, and those are the hardwoods. Now, a bigger hardwood would not be killed, so once they get to a certain size, and the fire usually doesn't hurt them. Now, every now and then you get a serious fire that gets up in the crown, and that would kill many trees, but the normal fire that's running across the ground would not hurt bigger hardwood trees, but it would kill the smaller hardwood. And when you think about longleaf pine and other pines that are planted by many forestry land people in our area, have to think that longleaf is fire resistant. It goes through a grass stage. I think we have a picture of a longleaf grass stage. And so when a fire sweeps through, and it doesn't hurt, it doesn't kill the longleaf because it's built to have the fire in the grass stage. But if it was a loblolly or a slash or the other pines, the fire would kill them. And so remember that the main purpose today is to prepare for planting or to control hardwoods that they do. Now, I grew up and we burned, but in those days, the fires were just set. There was no fire lines most of the time. It was just set. But there were quite a few fire towers scattered throughout that could spot fires. It was very interesting. There would be people manning the fire towers and watching for fires, and then they would coordinate where it was, and they would make fire lanes to put it out. But people in the past actually took a lot of chance and did it. And I grew up and I was always wondering why is my house and everybody else's house in the neighborhood didn't have a lawn. They didn't have grass, but they raked or cleared the area right around the house. And the main reason for that was to keep the fire from going. I remember my father actually making a sweeping broom out of dogwood. He didn't know that the leaves and the branches were opposite, but you get more sweeping when you have something with opposite branches. So we would cut dogwood twigs, well, not twigs, branches, tie them together, and then sweep the leaves and anything else out of the area right around the house so the fire wouldn't sweep it. So a very interesting aspect that was in the past. Of course, today the people have lawns all over, and the green does stop some of the fires, a big green. So anyway, very interesting. Control burn is a very important part of the South right now, maybe all over the United States, to control fires, because once you burn, then you don't have that fuel for wildfires that may come through.